Thank you all for joining our webinar today. I'm Ipshita and I'm from Manifest. And let me tell you a little about Manifest. So we are a bunch of young, intelligent folks who are on a mission to benefit e-commerce with AI. And we are backed by Sequoia and YC. Today, we are here to make you aware of the impact that AI can bring to e-commerce, which was, unimaginable for decades. So that is why we are here. And today we have Manish with us, who is the AI e-commerce expert. So I will hand it over to him. He will give us an introduction about him and get the webinar started. And during the webinar, if you have any questions, you can type it in the Q&A box. We will answer them at the end of the webinar. Over to you, Manish.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ipshita, for the introduction. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We are really glad all of you took time out to join us in this webinar. And like Ipshita mentioned, we are here from Manifest AI, and we are here to discuss exactly this. We're here to discuss how we can leverage AI and GPT to disrupt e-commerce growth, right? So before we get started, just wanted to touch upon the impact which AI has had on our lives, right? Today, everybody uses GPT, ChatGPT, or some sort of AI to make their lives better, right? Every other person you know, it's be it content generation, be it with analytics, be it with brainstorming new ideas. Everybody today is using it. And if you're not, the other person is benefiting, right? They are leaving you behind. But we are not here to talk about AI or ChatGPT and how that adds value to your life. We are here to talk about you. We are here to talk about e-commerce. We are here to talk about how AI can add value to e-commerce brands and solve the most burning problems which you guys face today, right? So we are today joined by some of the biggest names, some of the most prominent people from the world of e-commerce. We have D2C brands, we have people who are just getting started. But something which unites all of you is the problems you face, right? Every one of us still faces problems with high acquisition cost, with high bounce rates, with high drop-offs, and again, low conversion, right? So in today's webinar, this is exactly what we want to address. What are these big problems which you're facing? How AI can help you with that? We'll also take a look at some real life examples. We'll go through some real life large brands and see what, or rather how they can use AI to improve their customer experience. And again, at the end of this webinar, what we want you to take away is how you can use AI in your stores to solve all these problems for your business so that you get more conversions, you are able to convert more traffic which comes to your website, and you have a reduced CAC, and again, your business booms. That is what we want you to take away from today's webinar. So, right, we can probably get started with a small question. Please feel free to use the poll and the chat box to share your replies. How many of you today are using AI on your Shopify store? Let's just wait for a minute to get some responses. But again, this can be anything ranging from, say, content generation for your products, could be analytics, could be with inventory management, anything where you might be using AI today.
You can tell us what AI you're using in the chat window as well. We'll be happy to see what you're using. Okay, we'll take another 10 seconds and then I'll reveal the results of this poll. So we have about 40% who are using AI for their store, and 60 of them are still yet to explore what AI can do for their store.
Great. And if the 40% could also maybe mention in chat what they're using AI for. But we are also here today to address the other 60%, right? Stores which are not using AI. And we also want to give you some ideas about how you can use that, and more importantly, why you should be using that. So right, let's come to the reason why we're all in this meeting together, right? We still, when I say we, I mean the e-commerce industry has some large burning problems which still have to be addressed, right? All of us deal with this. All of us have, say, high bounce rates. We do face low conversions. I mean, let's face it, it's a fact. Shopify stores or other e-commerce stores in general have a conversion rate somewhere between 2 to 2.5 percentage. And even the biggest, the most successful stores have a conversion rate of around 10%. Now, what that translates to for you is a very high customer acquisition cost. We all spend thousands of dollars on ads, on marketing, on generating organic content so that we are able to bring footfall into our store, so that we get traffic on the store. But if that translates to a 2 1.5% conversion, that is your ad money going down the drain. Now, that is something which can have a substantial impact on your business. That is you losing out money, which you can invest on other avenues. Now, that is one of the biggest problems which e-commerce today faces. And the other big reason, rather, the other big problem is again of poor retention. We might be able to convert, say, one or two customers uh, whom we acquire via ads. But again, the ability for us to bring them back to our store depends highly on the experience which they get, right? So these are some of the biggest problems which we've identified in the e-commerce industry today. I could be any type of customer. I could be, say, an impulsive buyer who just browses ads on Instagrams. I could have seen a campaign about a discount going on, and I could just land on a store, right? And someone just looking for deals. Or I could be someone who's a very savvy, a very research-oriented person. I go through 6 or 7 websites before finalizing what I want to buy from where, and I go through all details about a product before I make a decision. Now, these are two very different type of customers, and that is something which we need to understand, right? But the problem in websites today is the experience both these customers get is identical. There is absolutely no difference in how we treat those two types of customers, and that genericness in the customer experience is what leads to these low conversions, right? The other thing is when I, as a customer, land on an e-commerce store, I am the one driving the entire navigation. It's on me to go and say browse the different catalogs which are available, look for any offers which might be going. It's my duty to search for what I want and also kind of browse through all the policy documents which might have been added to understand when I can receive my product, if any customization is available, and how do I return a product if I buy one. So that kind of makes the whole browsing journey cumbersome for buyers. And that is not something which says what customers are used to in a real life scenario. And to complicate things further, we also have the poor support experience at times, right? The biggest challenge here is providing 24/7 live customer support to buyers who come to our website. Now, as a buyer, when I land on a website and I don't get an answer within, say, the next 2 minutes, it's 57% more likely, based on a Forrester research, that I might drop off, right? If I have a question about, say, any of the examples I mentioned, say, how do I return a product? I ask that to the support team. I don't get an answer within 2 minutes, and I'm gone. I'm gone to a competitor. I've already gone and bought their product. And by the time this live agent replies back to me, my order is already placed. It's probably dispatched by FedEx or UPS. So that is something which we as an industry need to solve. And that is why we are all like attending this webinar to understand how AI can help us solve these problems. So yeah, before looking at how we can probably achieve this, I wanted to tell a story about the last weekend when I went to a restaurant. There was a little retail store down there. They were selling organic skincare products. Right, I'm someone who's not very much into skincare, but after my lunch, I just went downstairs, had a stroll. Didn't really like anything. I was about to go and quit the store. I was just about to walk out, go back to my home. But there was a salesperson. There was a lady who just reached out to me, kind of came to me, talked about my skincare routine, and wanted to know how I deal with my skincare. I told her I'm not really into skincare products. I only use a generic face wash, right, which is just available off any shelf in a retail store. But then she kind of went ahead, pointed to me how it would contain harmful chemicals, which might cause harm to my skin in the long run. And that is how she started pitching to me about organic skincare products, told me what all products they have available. And before I knew it, I was standing in the billing queue. I had two products in my hand and was about to make that purchase. So this is exactly what brick and mortar offline stores kind of leverage. They have a salesperson available there, right? Who's ready to walk customers through the journey, who's ready to understand what they want and give them the most personalized and ideal recommendations to make sure they go ahead and do make a purchase. So how do we do this on, say, an e-commerce website, right? Now, imagine if you can have your best salesperson along with every buyer who visits your website, right? They are right there available to your buyers to handhold them through the entire journey, recommend them products, and make sure that they do purchase while addressing any questions they might have. Now, that is exactly what an AI-powered solution can offer, right? We can understand what a buyer wants. We can understand the sentiment, what they're exactly looking for. And this does not have to, say, be confined with any language barriers, right? This is how GPT can understand what your customers want and build that trust while giving out the best recommendations possible, right? An AI salesperson or an assistant can understand what buyers want, can figure out what are the features which somebody wants the most if they're say looking for organic skincare or anything else, understand the budget, any other concerns they have, and the best part, they're available 24/7. They are like your most well-trained, well-spoken, friendly and approachable salesperson or customer support executive who works 24/7, who works 24/7 tirelessly. And again, you have no problems in, say, hiring them, training them, or dealing with churn. But if you're again thinking how you can probably solve this, we have a solution for you, right? This is the AI shopping chatbot or AI shopping assistant we're talking about. We are talking about Manifest AI here, right? Which is a ChatGPT trained on your Shopify store. And now we've all interacted with ChatGPT. Everybody uses it for their advantage. Now imagine Manifest AI to be something very similar, but who's trained on your Shopify store automatically without any intervention required from your side, and is ready to now answer any questions your buyers might have, and also to make sure that they do get their answers, get their questions answered, and complete the purchase. So yeah, now let's move on to the most interesting part of the webinar, right? We all want to look at some real life use cases about how, say, large brands can go ahead and leverage the power of AI. So on my left, you will find a screenshot. This was actually when I was browsing the website of Dr. Squatch. Now, Dr. Squatch, as we all know, is a very large soap manufacturer, is very big in terms of organic soaps. So I was browsing a product. I just had a question, right? I'm someone who has dry skin. I went ahead and asked the support bot available there if I can use it on my dry skin. Just wanted to make sure that it doesn't further dry my skin up. I wanted to make sure it has those moisturizing capabilities. But the answer I got was less than ideal, right? What I got in return was, again, the link to a large blog page, right, which didn't even completely answer the question. The preview I can see, it says it's intended for hand washing, it is absolutely safe. But the question which I asked was about dry skin. Now, again, the answer might be hidden somewhere in that link. But as a customer, when I kind of go ahead and ask that question, I want a very targeted answer. And that is not something which I got right here. Right now, let's look at another example, right? One of our skincare brands which has Manifest AI Live. And let's actually go ahead and try the exact same thing, right? So I am on this website. It's a large, say, D2C brand based out of India. It's called Conscious Chemist and has some really cool collections of skincare products. You find sunscreens, you find serums, you find toners, you name it, you'll get it here. But yeah, let's actually go ahead and try that same example, right? So I just want to get some recommendations for dry skin. Let's see what it has to offer. And you might probably notice that I actually made a typo here. I forgot to add the word from, right? Like, or rather for. I ended up typing show me something dry skin. But that is the power of AI, right? There is a very high level of tolerance for, say, any typographical errors I might be making. There's a high understanding of other languages and also intent watch what a person might have. So in this case, it goes ahead, it suggests me a few options, right? It tells me about the hydrating face wash for dry skin and also kind of answers my question. It says that it's gentle, it's hydrating, and perfect for normal to dry skin. And along with that, we also have a few other recommendations. Yeah, things which also help with problems like eczema, right? With dry flakes and itching. Now, I can probably go ahead and ask a few other questions as well. So I'm asking this question about a body cream, right? Just want to confirm if I can use it daily. And again, in this case, instead of giving me a link to that product where I can go find this information, it actually answers my question. It tells me that it is designed for daily use and it's gentle and it's nourishing, which my problem was about, right? So it gives me the most ideal answer to my question. And this has a huge impact in, say, my experience as a customer, where I, on say Doctor's Watch, might be again tempted to go to some other website, go to any other marketplace to find what I'm looking for. The promptness of the answer in this case, in Conscious Chemist, and also the accuracy of the answer and how well it kind of address my question is something which can make me complete the purchase. And this is exactly what a salesperson would do in your retail store, right? So with Manifest AI, this is available to you on your e-commerce store. And yeah, we can probably look at a few other examples as well. A couple of other stores who have Manifest AI live on them. On my left, you'll find Mitchell UAA Shopper, who is the AI assistant for Mitchell Brands, a skincare brand based out of the USA. And again, a really large growing brand with a very special mission. They want to kind of dedicate to communities of African American women and want to make sure that their products are able to cater to their specific skin type, to make sure that any problems like melasma or other pigmentation are being tackled with their line of products. So again, this is a store which has a very large catalog. They have up to 500 or 550 products, right? And navigating across that could be cumbersome for some customers. But in this case, because we have the AI shopping assistant live, we can see it kind of giving out the most targeted and or rather, I'll say personalized recommendations. If somebody comes in and asks for anti-aging products, this is exactly what they'll get. Now, this experience would be, say, entirely different if somebody wanted to, say, track an order, right? And that is exactly how you want your online store to behave. You want it to kind of adapt to the customer behavior, to the customer expectations, and deal out the most ideal responses. Similarly, on my right, you'll find the AI assistant. It's a really cute panda avatar. It's called Panda AI, and it's live on a footwear store from Australia called Panda Slippers. Right, and even in this case, we see that based on the question which the buyer asked, and just wanted to take a minute to point out something very specific. Uh, in this case, as it is with most other e-commerce use cases, buyers don't have a product in mind, right? Even in this case, they are just they have a vague requirement in mind. They're looking for something comfortable, lightweight, and light colored. Now, if you go ahead and type that in a traditional search, you might not find any results at all, right? Because most search platforms use keyword matching with the titles, and most titles might actually not have anything relevant to this. But what an AI assistant can do in this case is also kind of understand what a person is looking for, go through all the catalog, or rather all the products available in the catalog, and then give out the most ideal recommendations. So these were a couple of examples, real life examples on which Manifest AI is live. Yeah, just following up on that line, on your left, you'll also find some other support use cases. Now, this is something again which we're looking at for Conscious Chemist. Uh, and right, just imagine the frustration a customer would have had if, in order to track their order, they had to wait for live support to get back. If they had to say, reach out to multiple people, jump across multiple pages just to get their order tracked. And that is what an AI assistant can help your customers avoid. It kind of has the entire Shopify data on the back of its palm, right? So the assistant knows uh, what and where every person's order is, and if somebody comes with that question in mind, we can always go through the data and answer that question, making sure that your customers don't have to wait to get their questions answered, which again has a very high impact on the problem of retention, which we discussed earlier. If we are able to give an experience like this to customers who placed an order, it's much more than likely that they'll come back and place another order with us. And right, I think just another example from a Swiss store, right? This is the bot is called Protect Life Support, and they're from a store which sells first aid kits. Again, a very noble cause. We've seen multiple incidents about, say, people dealing while they were skiing, and this is the cause which they're kind of pushing. They want to make sure that first aid kits are very readily available. And while this is a Swiss store trained on, say, English products, we can still see that if a customer, say, from Spain, comes in and asks a question in Spanish, in this case, the customer is asking for any portable side kits available. They do get that answer. While the data of products is still available only in English, they can get not only can they get their questions answered with the right recommendations, they also get it answered in Spanish, right, which was the language which they do speak. So these are just some examples of how an AI chatbot can make the journey of your customers more seamless on your website, and at the same time tackle all the problems which we discussed earlier. But yeah, we can just have a quick poll, maybe a show of hands if you'd want to try something similar, a similar AI bot on your website. Sure. I think we can move ahead. We can discuss the answers at the end of the session. Uh, right. So these are again just a few pointers which you wanted to highlight about Manifest, right? Some key features which kind of help it stand out from any other support bot, right? The first and the foremost thing is it understands your customers very well. There is no language barrier as such when you have an AI bot, especially Manifest AI on your store. Like we saw in the case of Protect Life, it could understand questions in Spanish very seamlessly. Uh, Again, this is something which even I messed up while asking the question at Conscious Chemist. But like I mentioned, there is a very high degree of tolerance to any typos or any other say spell checks to make sure that whatever your customers type in or ask, the AI assistant is able to understand that and is able to give out the best recommendations possible. Uh, a couple of other things. Again, when it comes to online stores, like we've spoken with a lot of brands over the past couple of years, and what we understand is that the look and feel, the visual appeal of the store is something which is very close to the heart of store owners, right? So that is why we've kept widget personalization at the very top of our priorities. We want to make sure that our widget, our chat interface can fit in seamlessly with your store, right? Whatever your theme be, whatever your color schema might be, whatever your tonality might be. That is something which you can configure Manifest AI to make sure that it matches with your brand. We saw a couple of examples where customers also had a few support questions, right? And that is where the entire live chat integration comes in. They again might, or rather, they always might be some cases where, say, an AI assistant might have to hand over a chat to a live agent, right? Could be something to do with, say, a refund request or something about an order which has gone missing, something which is, say, marked as delivered on Shopify, but is the customer still hasn't received it. Right. In such cases, the AI assistant knows when to kind of hand over the chat to a live agent, And Manifest connects with Gorgias, right? So the way it works for your customers is AI acts as the first layer of defense, I'll say, where whenever they have any questions, they can come in, they can ask the AI assistant, and the AI assistant screens the questions while it tries to answer all possible questions with the information available. Whenever we face a challenge where we might require, say, a live agent to come in, it kind of just closes and opens up Gorgias. So your customers again have a very seamless journey there. Handover between Manifest to Gorgias kind of solves this for customers. But again, if you're someone who does not have Gorgias, we also have the ability to kind of collect details via email so that your support team can reach out to your customers via email. And what this also helps you achieve is collect more leads, right? Whenever somebody comes on chat, or rather, whenever somebody comes on your store, that is one of the biggest goals you have. You want to kind of collect as many leads as possible so that you can retarget them going forward. The other couple of things, apart from being trained on your Shopify data, which again, I like to repeat, happens automatically. That is something which you don't have to put in any additional effort for. You can also go ahead and add any custom data which you want, which say might not be available on Shopify, right? You can add in, say, any discount codes, any special sales going on, any, say, long list of FAQs which you might have, which you want to make sure that the bot understands so that they can go ahead and answer the questions. And finally, something which we believe is at the core of any SaaS product, and especially in the e-commerce industry, right? We want to make sure that you have a very detailed view of how things are going on. You are able to track everything about the conversations. You're able to see what people are talking about, how engaged they are, if they are liking the recommendations or not, and ultimately what value it is adding to your store. These are some things which you'll find on manifest.ai. And right, I think while I've mentioned the features, while I've shown you some examples, this is what you all really are here for, right? I think you all have this question, what is in it for me, right? So this is where this comes up. This is the benefits which some of our stores are seeing, right? And again, with Manifest AI, these are some benefits which your stores can see as well. Again, like we mentioned, the first and the biggest benefit of having an AI assistant is reducing the bounce rate. So with the personalized customer experience, with which understands queries as well, and also proactively nudges customers at the right time, we are able to reduce the bounce rates. We are able to engage customers at the right time, understand what they want, and we are able to make sure that any questions they might have are answered, so that this results in a higher engagement, more page visits by your customers, and which ultimately transfers to more orders and sales for your business. The second thing is, again, this is uh, something which is at the core of customer support, but agent costs have been high and are only going to go high as we go forward. And this is where some of our brands have seen a massive benefit. They've been able to reduce the amount of messages which go to live support, live agents, and have been able to save up to 80% of the agent costs, which they were shelling out before. And the best part is that this is an agent which works 24/7. You don't really have to take care about uh, if they're satisfied or not, if they want a break or not, if they're well trained or not, and if they want to quit or not. There's someone who works 24/7, is the most well trained and the most friendly agent which you can ever find. Both of these put together result in a reduced CAC, or rather customer acquisition cost for your brand. Again, like we discussed before, while all brands do kind of spend a lot of money on ads, there's something which helps you retain them better. Somebody comes, say, tries finding something, does not like what he or she sees, they might just drop off. That is a lead which has gone to waste without any benefit which you can get, right? With Manifest AI, there is a much higher likelihood of you collecting more leads, you identifying what customers want, and again, which helps you drive down customer acquisition costs going forward. And right, finally, the treasure trove, what we are all here for. Manifest AI has, again, with some brands, helped increase the conversion by up to 15%, right? all the features which we saw ultimately drive customers towards this one goal. How well we are able to convince customers, or rather answer customers' queries and convince them to make a purchase. And what this does is helps you earn more revenues. This directly translates to higher revenues for your store and increased customer conversion rates. So yeah, this was largely about Manifest AI and how AI can solve the most burning problems in e-commerce today. If you want to get started with Manifest, we can go live in less than 5 minutes. I'd just like to reiterate, there is no additional training which is required to kind of go live with Manifest. Manifest AI automatically gets trained on your Shopify store data, right? So again, for you to kind of set it up from end to end would take you less than 5 minutes. And within 5 minutes, you're good to go. You're ready to give your customers the best buying experience they ever have received on your store. And we also have a very special offer running. Uh, yeah, while it is again absolutely free to make it live on your store, you can go ahead, you can try it for completely free. You can look at how customers are interacting with the assistant. You can look at what impact it has on your business, and you can then take the next step of decisions. Yeah, Ipsita, do you want to talk about the special offer going on today?
Sure, Manish. So we have a special offer going on today. So anyone who downloads the app today would be getting a 50% off on their paid plan. So apart from that, we also have a free trial, so which would anyways be available for everybody, but the ones who download today would get a 50% off. So I have also shared the link in the chat, so you can just go ahead and then download the app right away.
All right. Thanks, Ipsita. And sure, before we head to the Q&A, I think we do have some questions in the lineup. Also, just wanted to take a minute here. Yeah, we have actually wanted to show you how the Manifest AI dashboard looks like once you do install and get started with it, right? So this again is the merchant dashboard. This is how the dashboard for conscious chemist looks like. The couple of examples which I saw earlier. And like this is the entire analytics part of it. As soon as you land, you get to see all the key metrics which you are concerned about. How many customers visited the store, how many of them interacted with your assistant, and how engaged were they. In this case, we can see that the average conversation length was of 7 messages, and they were engaged for about 145 seconds, which again is over 2 minutes, which is again a significant jump from say customers who might bounce off as soon as they land on the website, right? We also get to understand how relevant the recommendations are, how many people are uh, clicking on any recommendations which get sent out to your buyers. And apart from this, one of the biggest advantage of having a AI assistant on your website is that you get real feedback from customers. You get the voice of customers from their mouth, right? We all invest heavily in analytical tools which help you understand what customers want, how they are behaving on the website, what is something which they don't like. With something like an AI chatbot live on your store, customers actually come in and tell you about that, right? Not only does this help you answer their requests better, but it also helps you improve your store going forward, right? And apart from the analytics, like we mentioned, you also get a bird's eye view of what are the conversations which are actually happening on your store, right? So you get a list of all the questions which customers are asking. And this is where the feedback comes into play. If you kind of observe that some particular question is being asked a lot by buyers, which is probably not answered on the website itself, you get to learn about that. You get to kind of rectify the issue. You get to add that data on the website upfront, so that buyers who come to your website tomorrow have a even smoother experience. And finally, this is where you go ahead and set up the assistant. This is the appearance section where you can go ahead, customize the interface however you like. You can select any of the colors to make sure that it goes and fits with your brand tonality. You can also go ahead, add your own avatar. You can select on which pages this should be visible, on which devices it should be visible, and or not visible. Apart from that, you can also kind of go ahead and train the behavior. You can select how you want your assistant to talk with your customers. Uh, Again, this we have a set of tonalities which are available. Depending on your brand personality, your brand's positioning, you can pick any one of these. And these are support flows live. You can either say collect emails from your buyers, or you can also give out a link to them, which can help them reach out to your support staff whenever required. And this is where we do all the training. This is where you might want to add any additional data, right? In this case, we have a few FAQs added by the store. We also have a few offers which have been added, which at this point might not be available on the website. So this is how your assistant can be trained with any additional data you have to make sure that we are able to give out the best responses to any and all questions which your buyers have. And apart from that, all links available on your store. When I say links, I mean blogs, pages, policies, about us. Any of those are again synced automatically. And such data from links or pages, along with all your product data from the catalog, is automatically synced with Manifest. The AI assistant is trained on this data without you having to do anything. So like I mentioned, you can install the app, you can verify the questions, and you can go live within 5 minutes. So this was something about Manifest AI. Right, I think we can probably take a minute to just go through the questions, and yeah, Akshita, I think over to you now.
Please add in your questions in the Q&A tab. We'll be happy to answer your questions. I think most of the questions that were put in the Q&A tab has already been answered by our panelists. So if you have any other question, we would be happy to answer them, or we can then end the webinar. Thank you all for joining the webinar. It was nice having all of you. Hope you got to learn the benefits of AI for your e-commerce store and what you can gain by adding Manifest to your e-commerce store. Thank you so